Hello everyone, good day. This is Ma'am Neri, and today we shall discuss about the facilitation skills of a PFA provider using online and self-guided modules. The first thing that we need to know is this question: who can facilitate online PFA and PFA through self-guided modules? Since psychosocial interventions may be delivered by teachers, guidance counselors, or other personnel who are trained to facilitate the program. The program does not require an expert, but rather someone who can support, enable, and empower learners to find their own answers. Now, what competencies are expected of PFA providers using these supplemental modules? CIS facilitators are expected to have certain competencies depending on the mode of delivering the modules. Here are some of the competencies needed for both online PFA delivery and PFA through self-guided modules. First, the mastery of program design. A PFA provider has the ability or should have the ability to implement and process activities and adjust design when necessary. Adjustments may be necessary depending on the mode of delivery, environment, available resources, and nature of learners. The second competency of a PFA provider is the facilitation skills for online PFA delivery and PFA through self-guided modules. Let us first discuss the facilitation skills of an online PFA provider. The online PFA delivery refers to the use of online platforms such as Microsoft Teams, Placework by Facebook, and Google Meet as recommended based on the Memorandum 00-042-00420. These are the skills useful when delivering PFA online. An online PFA provider should have active listening. Active listening is the ability to grasp both content and feeling or a speaker's total meaning. There are many levels of active listening. Number one, listening for content. This involves reflecting back what the speaker said either by repeating or paraphrasing their message in your own words. Example: student says, I could not make sense of why this was happening to our family. The teacher can say, it was a confusing time. Second, clarifying. This involves checking your understanding by asking questions about the content. Example, so you mean to say that? What did you mean by? Number three, reflecting feelings. This is said to be the deepest type of listening. This involves the ability to interpret what a person might be feeling even when he or she did not specifically identify their emotions. Example: wow, that must have been really scary. Integrating is another competency or skill that an online PFA provider must possess. In the context of groups, integrating means summarizing people's ideas or responses by highlighting the common themes of the discussion, such as, many of you felt fear during the event, as well as unique responses, such as, Trisha also shared how she felt numbed. This is also important in integration, especially at the end of each module, to focus on significant learnings of the participants. Next, process observation and analysis, or POA. POA refers to the ability to process not just one person of a time, but also the interactions and atmosphere within a group. POA is also the ability not just to listen to content or what people are saying, but also process or what is happening in the group. In a traditional classroom, it is easy to watch for students who are falling asleep, fidgeting, or not paying attention. However, for remote learning, facilitators need to look for body language in the bandwidth. This means seeking out subtle signals that indicate the level of participant engagement and knowledge transfer. In the virtual classroom, cues may come from unexpected sources. Specifically, the facilitator may look at participation, patterns of communication, group atmosphere, response time, and technology interference. Participation. You may ask, is everyone participating? During online sessions, facilitators may also encourage participation by having students read bullet points and asking for their opinions or for illustrations of content. Patterns of communication. Are there some participants dominating the discussion? If so, it may be useful to use strategies to engage everyone in the discussion, such as passing a ball, whether actual or virtual. At times, the facilitator may remain quiet in order to encourage others to participate. Group atmosphere. Is the atmosphere friendly or tense? If the atmosphere is tense, you may need to do an icebreaker or use a humor. Do the students seem interested or bored? If they seem sleepy, bored, or tired, it might be time for a change in activity or to end the session. Response time. A slow response may mean that a student is engaged in reflective thought or has no idea of what you're talking about. It's up to the facilitator to determine what's going on and respond accordingly. In order to keep participants focused on the program and ensure that they're still present, plan interactions every 3 to 5 minutes. Technology interference. It is advisable for facilitators to do a student orientation first so that time will not be wasted while they figure out how to virtually raise their hands, answer a poll, or write on the chat box. An online facilitation skills needed by an online PFA provider is communication skills. Once facilitators know what signals to look for, the following techniques can help increase the effectivity of remote learning. Number one, a PFA provider must pay attention to his or her vocal delivery. For online sessions, vocal delivery is very important. Use a full range of inflection or express emotion to keep your students engaged. Number two, use visually attractive and readable learning materials. In a traditional classroom, participants' eyes are generally focused on the speaker. Remotely, the focus remains on the screen or on the printed modules. To engage students, facilitators need to use this medium effectively. Be precise. In any mode of learning, facilitators need to make sure that their language is precise. Instead of asking, "Do you have any question?" be more direct. Say, "If you have a question, raise your hand." This not only tells students exactly what you want them to do, but also assures you that everyone is engaged. And number four, build rapport. A PFA provider must maintain a relaxed, engaging, and informative tone. Encourage students to ask questions and share experiences. Another competency needed for an online PFA provider is creating an atmosphere of unconditional acceptance and support. In experiential learning, there is no one correct answer. Rather, the best answer is that which makes most sense for the learner. It is important to affirm that each person's contribution is valuable. The facilitator can do this by number one, telling learners that there is no wrong or right opinion. Number two, showing encouragement using nonverbal communication such as eye contact, nodding, facial expressions that mirror what a speaker is saying. Number three, encouraging everyone to participate. Number four, showing respect for each student by not ridiculing them. Number five, setting ground rules within the group, including respect for each other. And number six, stepping in when you feel that a learner is being embarrassed or ashamed. To summarize, here are the facilitation skills of an online PFA provider. Number one is active listening. Two is integrating. Three is process observation and analysis. Four is communication skills. And number five is creating an atmosphere of unconditional acceptance and support. Let us now go to the facilitation skills for PFA through self-guided modules. The PFA through self-guided modules refers to the use of printed self-guided SIS supplemental modules 1 to 4 to be provided to the learners. Here are some of the facilitation skills for the PFA providers through self-guided modules. Communication skills is also needed for a PFA provider using self-guided modules. There are competencies under these skills, such as encouraging self-directed learning and two, providing effective feedback. Now, to encourage learners in self-directed learning, help students become aware of their study habits, learning styles, and areas of strengths and weaknesses. Creating self-awareness helps students to evaluate their study patterns and readiness to learn. Now, in providing effective feedback, meaningful feedback is personal, task-related, specific, positive, and timely. Make feedback more manageable by requesting that completed activities be submitted in a standard format and by a particular day each week. Explain to students when they can expect to hear back from you. Clear expectations will support effective feedback. A PFA provider using self-guided modules also need to have time management or organizational skills. All the four modules on PFA will be given right before the start of the school year. The student will answer all the activities embedded in the learning pockets, and upon completion, the student shall send back the packets to the class teacher or facilitator. The teacher should read the answers of the students per module and provide feedback on their answers. They review the notes on signs of stress and keep an eye on messages that may indicate presence of stress or abuse. After the teacher has provided feedback for all four modules, they return the learning packets and schedule a one-on-one session with those who may need it or refer students who may need additional help. Again, to summarize, here are the facilitation skills for PFA through self-guided modules. First is encouraging self-directed learning. Second, providing effective feedback. And third, time management or organizational skills. Congratulations, everyone. Thank you for listening. We are now done with the facilitation skills of a PFA provider using online and PFA through self-guided modules. I hope you have learned from this video and may you apply all the competencies as a PFA provider. Thank you.